Welcome to VLSI design video. We are looking at unit 6, which is CAD tools. This is the lecture 3, and the content what we are going to look at is the technology scaling, issues of scaling and scaling factor for device parameters. The objective of this course is to make you to implement what the technology scaling is. So let's see the introduction to scaling. As you all know, in a IC, the transistor count is actually considered for IC integration level. So this MOS technology scaling means dividing, or it is bifurcating or making into small parts. So this technology is scaled or divided or reduced, has been a primary driver of the electronics industry and has provided a path toward both denser and faster integration. So if you see on this graph, you can look at as the transistor count increases, clock speed will be off. So see this, the first green color, the transistor count is still increasing, and you see the clock speed has increased, and after a certain level, after some point, it is flattered. Okay, that means we cannot go beyond certain limits. Clock speed, high level of clock speed will be not that much, and power limitation also there is there. We cannot say that we need 5 volts all the time, or we need this volt all the time. So there is a limitation on the power also, and the instruction per clock cycle which are working up is also has a limitation. And if you look at the leakage power and active power in any MOS circuit or MOS technology, so the yellow ones indicate the active power, and the leakage power is the pink or red color ones. So as the technology is improving, you can see the active power is also increasing, but this active power requirement has to be again come down. That means the power also has to be scaled down. So why scaling? Design of high density chips in MOS VLSI technology requires high packaging density, as I said, and a small transistor size. This reduction of size is K by A scaling, where K is a scaling factor. So S, if the scaling size S is greater than 1, has been introduced, leading to reduction of area by a factor S square. And the disadvantage is electric fields within the gate oxide grow larger. So let's start with this MOSFET scaling factor. If you see the structure of a MOSFET, it is having the oxide thickness TOX. Suppose it is scaled by a factor S. What happens? And we have the channel length, that is L. The actual channel length is L, but after scaling it is scaled by factor S, so it is indicated as L dash. And substrate even doping concentration or substrate doping, which is actually Na, if it is scaled, that means it is multiplied by S, that is Na dash is Na into S. Here also the doping of the diffusion layers, Nd dash, okay, and the distance, width and length, this is the length and this is the width. So if we try to scale down with the parameter S, all the factors are indicated by W dash, TOX dash, Nd dash, L dash, and so on. So this is how we are trying to reduce. The S can be 1, S can be 2, S can be 3, or S can be 0.1 if I want to just scale down by a little amount. So S again depends on how much you are trying to scale down or reduce down. Okay, so there are types of scaling which are called as constant field scaling, constant voltage scaling, and general scaling. So if this is my MOSFET, which is having the gate, oxide thickness, diffusion and the substrate, the technology scaling factor will be k greater than 1, where the alpha is a scaling factor again, the ratio parameter, which will be between 1 and k. So here after scaling, this is the biggest size you can see. After scaling down, it looks in this smaller structures, so that if the size of the transistor is reduced, I can incorporate on the same die more number of transistors, so that my number of transistor count will be increased. So first is the constant field scaling or full scaling. Magnitude of internal electric fields is kept constant. We have some internal electric fields. What are they? They are like charge. We have the density at the channel. We have the current, IDS, and we have the voltages. So many things are incorporated inside the MOSFET. So magnitude of internal electric field is kept constant. Only lateral dimensions are changed. So threshold voltage is affected because of changing of the dimensions of the lateral dimensions. So if you see this, the original device is this one. It is having the oxide thickness TOX. It is having the length, substrate doping Na. Now the doping is alpha times Na. So alpha is now less. So which was initially Na, it becomes lesser. Length also, if you see, previously it is the length is this much size. Now it is scaled by alpha. It is reduced. So likewise, it is scaled down. V, voltage is scaled down, oxide thickness is scaled down, width is scaled down, and length is scaled down, not the electric field. Inside the field which is existing is kept constant. Only the lateral dimensions are changed. Even though I change the lateral dimensions, since voltage is changed, width is changed, my threshold voltage is also affected. So you can see the consequences of constant field scaling. The channel length is scaled L by S, channel width scaled W by S, gate oxide is scaled TOX by S, junction depth is scaled, power supply voltage VDD, suppose if it was 5 volts, it is 5, the scaling factor is 2, 5 by 2, depends, okay. Threshold voltage is also scaled, doping densities are also scaled. So quantities which were before are COX, ID, that is drain current, power dissipation is P, and power density per area is P by area. So after scaling, what it is resulting? S into COX, ID by S, P by S square, and P by area. So if you see, the change in the parameters are oxide capacitance is changed, drain current is changed, and power dissipation is also changed. So this is the effect of constant field scaling. So the most significant reduction is power dissipation. It is reduced by factor P by S square. We need to reduce it, and power density remains unchanged. Gate oxide CGS is also scaled down, and overall performance we see that there is an improvement because we are reducing the power dissipation much. So the next one is the constant voltage scaling. In the constant voltage scaling, supply voltage scaling is not feasible option in terms of compatibility with earlier chips voltage. Thus supply voltage is kept constant, that means VDD likewise, while we are scaling the other MOS device parameters. So if we are scaling other MOS device parameters, you can see before scaling W, L, TOX, the depth, junction depth Xj, they are reduced by S. Same way voltages VDD, VT, they are remain unchanged because what I said, the supply voltage is kept constant. So we are supposed to keep them constant, VDD and VT. Doping concentration we can change, so it is increased by S square. So what happens before COX, it was before, now COX is changed. ID was before, ID is changed to S into ID. Power dissipation, it is not much reduced, it is further multiplied or improved. Whereas power density, it is again multiplied. So it is more preferred, but the power requirement again is not, power dissipation is not reduced. So issues of constant voltage scaling are increase in drain current density and power density by a factor of SQ, which adversely affects the device reliability, and it causes problems like electromigration, hot carrier degradation, gate oxide breakdown, and electrical overstress. These are the problems which can cause through constant voltage scaling, because in the previous you can see it is SQ, here also it is multiplied, it is not divided, it is multiplied. That means there are the issues, the problems which are caused are electromigration, hot carrier, gate oxide breakdown, and electrical overstress. Next, the third type of scaling is general scaling. Voltage scaling makes difficult to turn off device, which in turn increases rate of leakage current. Thus a more general scaling model needed, which scales device dimensions and voltage proportionally with alpha and K scaling factors respectively. So here you can see the gate oxide thickness, TOX, length, width, and the junction depth, all in linear dimension, are scaled by 1 by K, and the doping concentrations Na and Nd are scaled by alpha into K, and the supply voltages alpha by K. So this is more general. So there are some effects which can occur because of scaling or the technology scaling. So the short channel effects are one of the effects which can happen. So when channel length, that is L effective, approximately equals source and junction depth, that is Xj. Why short channel MOS even if it has degraded performance? Why we call it short channel MOS? Because the threshold voltage is less. The effects are drain induced barrier lowering, surface scattering, velocity saturation, impact ionization, and hot carrier effect. What are these? We will see in detail. So first is the drain induced barrier lowering. Potential barrier, there is a potential barrier which is controlled by both VGS and VDS. You all know in the MOSFET structure you see it is NPN or PNP. N and P, in between that also there can exist a potential barrier. That means between the channel and the source and between the channel and the drain there can happen a potential barrier which exists. So that is controlled by either VGS or VDS. That's why we give the supply at the gate source and we give the supply at the drain source. So if drain voltage increases, barrier in the channel also decreases. Okay, if the drain voltage increase, then barrier decreases, leading to drain induced barrier lowering. So that is called as from the drain side. It is not from the source side, it is drain side. It is induced so that the barrier potential is lowered. So that is the term which is explained here, drain induced barrier lowering. It allows the electron flow between source and drain even at VGS less than VTO, even when the gate source voltage is less than the threshold voltage. So this diagrammatically you can see here the length as it is increasing, and this is the source and this is the drain. From the drain side the barrier is reduced, not from the source side. As we increase the drain side, the barrier is lowered. That's why it is whitishly it is shown. So as channel length decreases, the barrier phi b to be surmounted by electron from the source on its way to the drain reduces. The next effect is surface scattering. Due to surface scattering, electric field increases and mobility becomes field dependent. So surface scattering occurs. Average surface mobility decreases. So you can see here, this is the induced space region and inverse region also happens here, and you can see the space charge region. So as the inversion layer changes, the space charge region also will change. So this is called as surface scattering effect. It is not unique, it is changing. The next effect is velocity saturation. Velocity of charge carriers versus electric field. If you see, there are three regions of operation in the MOSFET that you all know. That is the cutoff region, saturation region and linear region. So when you are reduce voltage saturation, if you are scaling down, that means the channel length is also reduced. That means the number of particles at that particular effective length will be more. So we say one after the other it gets hit up and the velocity will increase and move in a faster rate. That's why we call it as velocity saturation, because the electric field in that reduced length space or the channel length will be more. So this reduces current in short channel MOSFET. So the short channel current IDS short is IDS long, which was before without scaling, the drain current which was before without scaling, by 1 plus E by EC, where E is the electric field and EC is the electric field after scaling. So here you can see the electric field on the x-axis and drift velocity on the y-axis. So even after we increased so much of electric field by passing the external voltage, they gained enough energy and they cannot move. They have gone into a saturated level. So you can see here they are VSAT. They become stable. Like after eating enough of food, will you be able to run? You will sit at one position. Same way, after gaining enough voltage, after scaling down, they are unable to move. Initially, see, linearly it got moved, but here the mobility became constant. V is VSAT. So this is the graph of velocity saturation. Next is the impact ionization. Due to higher electric field, which causes high voltage velocity of electrons. So the high electric field which is given here, which causes high velocity of electron, will generate some electron hole pairs. You can see here we have p type, here we have n type. So some electron hole pair generated, and this is called as impact ionization. Next is hot carrier effect. When electrons or holes gain sufficiently large energies to overcome barrier and get trapped in oxide layer, this effect is called hot carrier effect. It permanently changes MOSFET switching characteristics, and this adversely affects the reliability. So you can see here again the channel length which was before L, now it became L by S. Let me say this is the size L by S. So if the length is reduced, the density here will become more. So they become hot one after other. It gets hit up and becomes hot and can move in any direction. So this, the current will try to move out, or the electrons will try to go out. So this will affect the threshold voltage especially. So it changes the switching characteristics. So if it is affecting the threshold voltage, that means the MOSFET which has to turn on later may turn on sooner. So likewise these switching characteristics will be affected. There are some other effects which are called as narrow channel effects. So the MOSFETs having channel width W approximately equals depletion region thickness is known as narrow channel MOSFET. Here VTO is the narrow channel, which is VTO plus delta VTO, which is most significant, and the overlapping of gate oxide and FOX will happen. So you can see cross sectional view of a narrow channel. So this is the thin oxide and this is the channel width Okay, thick field oxide, that is FOX, is the thick field oxide here. This is the thin field and this is the thick field oxide. This is the gate and drain diffusion. So here comes the channel which is existing because of the thin oxide and thick oxide, and the junction depth is changing, so width also is scaled down, so there comes a narrow channel. So I hope you might have understood what is scaling. Scaling means dividing or breaking down. Suppose if initially the length was L, now it is scaled by L by some scaling factor S, so that suppose previously the length was some 10 nanometer, now it will be reduced to some 8 nanometer. So if I try to scale down these parameters, the dimensions and the parameters, what happens is in the same die area I can incorporate more number of transistors. But the thing is, we are trying to reduce the dimensions. Suppose if we are trying to reduce only dimensions, then what about the power requirement, power dissipation? So suppose if you are trying to reduce the power supply VDD and VSS, what happens again? So all these things you have studied in the technology scaling, and what are the effects which come across because of the technology scaling also you have seen. I hope you have understood what is technology scaling and types of scaling and the effects which occur due to scaling. Thank you for